Hey, what's up you guys? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the EVE-AT1 from Kuassa. And this is a very nice emulation of the Neve 1081. And as you can see from the layout, it is very, very easy to understand and it has a fantastic sound. So let's just get straight into it. As always, we have the Kuassa Castle logo, which will show you all the information for your plugin. You'll have the save preset, save as, user manual, and Kuassa website, but you also have really, really nice presets. These presets are very, very well thought out, and I find that they're actually great ways of getting to know how this plugin sounds. You have the A/B, so you can switch between your two settings, and you have the copy A to B or B to A, depending on where you are in the plugin. After that, at the top right, you have the on and off switch, where if you just click it off, and when it turns dark, it's off, and when it's bright and lit up, it's on. And then we have the actual plugin controls. We have the Polarity Inversion, which is basically a phase flip. You have the low cut or high pass, and that goes from 27 hertz all the way to 270 hertz. If you have it all the way to the left, you can turn it off. You have a low shelf, which goes from off to 33 hertz all the way to 333 hertz. Now on this, you have a button which can turn it into a peak, which basically, instead of it being a big wide shelf, you have a bell. After that, you have the low-mid frequency band, which goes from 220 all the way to 1,200 kilohertz. Now, this has a broad and narrow button. It's a narrower shape, so it's more surgical, and you're actually getting a much tighter sound. This is really good if you have a problematic frequency that you really need to notch out, while you can use the broad band to kind of do generalized tone shaping or enhancing. In the higher mid-range one, you have up to 8,200 kilohertz, and that starts at 1,500 kilohertz. And again, all the way to the left is off. And that also has a broad and narrow button. After that, you have the high shelf, which goes from 3,200 kilohertz all the way to 15 kilohertz. And this can also be turned into a peak bell. This is a very sweet and smooth sounding high shelf filter, and I really like this. After that, you have the high cut, which starts at off, goes to 18, 12, 8.2, 5.6, and then ends up all the way down to 3.9 kilohertz. After that, you have the output, which is a 20 dB cut or boost, which is very, very good because you can do extreme tone shaping and then kind of make up the gain. And that's about it for this EQ. It's a very, very musical EQ, and it sounds really, really nice. So let's start off by showing you guys how this is. So I have a preset set up here on A, which is something I set up for this acoustic guitar already. But what I want to do is I want to show you how smooth this is. This acoustic guitar has a lot of boominess and was recorded with kind of a pretty cheap condenser mic. So because of that, we're actually not having the best sound that we can really get. So I want to show you how even with a overly boomy sounding acoustic guitar, we can actually get really smooth sounding tone shaping results from this EQ. So we're going to start off right here, and I'm going to solo this out, and we're just going to see what we can get going on. So hopefully what you could hear from that is I was able to get a really, really broad range of tones and shapes with this EQ. And if you could really hear from it, we weren't getting any of that weird phasing sound that we get from most digital EQs or more very surgical EQs. We're getting natural and smooth sounding boosts and cuts, even at extreme amounts. And as you can see here, we're actually doing a lot of cutting, and we're kind of cutting and boosting a little bit of here and there on everywhere. So let's listen to this in the context of the mix and see if this has helped at all. We're going to actually use the bypass on the actual plugin. So when it's dark red, it's off, and when it's bright red, it's on. We're going to start off, and I'm going to bring it in and show you what I mean and how we can kind of clean up and brighten this up and allow the vocals to shine through more. So hopefully you can hear that. That is a huge difference, and I think that that is a noticeable and positive difference. And this EQ's musicality has a lot to do with how we were able to shape the tone and make it sound natural while doing such extreme amounts of EQ. So let's play this back on a more extreme part, like when he's strumming harder, so we can really hear where it's cleaning it up. And this time I'm going to use this bypass so you can really see it. So when it's blue, it's on, and when it's gray like that, it's off. We're going to start off, and I'm going to bring it in. So here we go. So now you can really hear it, how I got rid of a lot of that boominess, and you can even hear the foot stomps in some areas when I bypass the EQ. And then I really bring out the string noise and a little bit of the body while also gently tucking out all of that low-end ugliness. And I'm also getting a little harsh sounds that we're getting from using this cheaper condenser mic. And one thing I'm noticing is now that we've cleaned up this guitar, the reverse reverb that we have here just kind of for fun on the vocals is really standing out. So now we can actually work on shaping the production of this. A lot of that is due because we're able to finally get a nice broad tone shaping EQ that was able to add some life to this. So again, this is the EVE-AT1 from Kuassa. It is a Neve 1081 emulation, and I'll leave a description and a link to it below. Hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.